Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into something I think we've all felt or witnessed at some point. We're looking at wealth, character, and human nature. We're going to unpack this fascinating narrative about the illusion of wealth and how money, or the lack of it, fundamentally changes how society treats us. It's a story about two wildly different starting lines in life, a massive reversal of fortune, and figuring out what actually holds value in this world.
So, let's just get right into it. Have you ever noticed something strange about how people treat you depending on what's in your bank account? When you have nothing, man, the world can feel incredibly isolating. Very few people ask how you're doing. Your phone stays pretty silent. Your opinions? They just don't seem important. People tend to ignore your ideas, and some even look down on you. It's the harsh, isolating reality of an empty bank account.
But the moment you become successful, everything flips. It's like night and day. Suddenly, everyone knows your name. Your phone never stops ringing. Friends you haven't heard from in literal years magically remember you, and relatives become so much closer. People who once completely ignored your ideas? Yeah, now they desperately want your attention.
And why is that? Well, because money has power. Not just the power to buy things, but the power to completely change human behavior. It's an uncomfortable truth, you know? Many people don't actually respect you because of who you are. They respect what you have. Think about things like love, friends, power, happiness, respect. If your bank account grows, people's behavior around those concepts changes. And if your money disappears, well, many of those people vanish right along with it.
But we have to look at the other side of the coin here, because not everyone who loves you loves your money. Real relationships are tested during those difficult times. When life gets hard, who refuses to leave? A true friend stays right by your side even when your wallet is totally empty. Your parents loved you long before you earned your first dollar, and a loyal partner stands with you during your absolute hardest days. That kind of genuine, unconditional love, that is absolutely priceless. Never confuse that with attention that just comes from wealth.
Now, just to be completely clear here, money is important. Let's not pretend it isn't, right? It pays the bills, puts food on the table, and creates amazing opportunities and security for your family. There's absolutely nothing wrong with working hard and building wealth. Seriously, go for it. But we just can't confuse financial attention with true character. Money can buy a whole lot of things, but it definitely cannot buy a genuine soul or a real, enduring relationship.
To really wrap our heads around this, let's look at a powerful story of two boys. They were born on the exact same morning, in the exact same city, just a few miles apart. But their starting lines? Totally different. One opens his eyes in a luxury private hospital surrounded by expensive gifts, born to wealthy parents who promise him a massive inheritance. Across the city, the other baby is born in a small, crowded public hospital to poor laborers who have almost no money left after paying the medical bills. They are armed with nothing but love and hope.
So as you can imagine, their worlds developed in entirely different universes. The rich boy grew up in a massive mansion, got driven to school in luxury cars, experienced constant instant gratification, and was admired by classmates simply because of his wealth. Meanwhile, the poor boy lived in a tiny house with a leaking roof. He walked miles to school every single morning wearing old shoes with holes in them, carrying secondhand books, and facing mockery with this quiet, unwavering resilience.
And then, tragedy struck the poor boy's family. In the first month, his father became seriously ill and their small income just vanished overnight. But he didn't give up. Fast forward a few months, and he's spending his days carrying bricks and cleaning shops just to survive. By the end of the first year, he's studying under a streetlight at night because they couldn't afford electricity. It was a grinding, painful struggle, but his determination only grew stronger, and by his fourth year, that relentless hard work earned him an outstanding academic scholarship. To all those incredibly dark days, he was guided by something his mother told him every single night. She would smile at him and say, "Never be ashamed of being poor. Be ashamed only if you stop dreaming." Wow. Those words became his compass. They were the guiding light that pushed him forward when his body was exhausted and the odds were completely stacked against him. Now, while the poor boy was fighting tooth and nail for every inch of progress, the rich boy was spending his time at parties and going on expensive vacations, basically believing success was just his birthright. Which brings us to a huge turning point in this story. Think about it. What actually happens when the money suddenly disappears?
Well, disaster struck for the rich boy. First, a series of failed investments completely destroyed his family's business empire. Next thing you know, the mansion and the luxury cars had to be sold off. And the final blow? The people who once constantly surrounded him, those fair-weather friends, they completely vanished. When a business fails, you figure out real quick who actually has your back. For the very first time in his life, the rich boy felt true fear, deep disappointment, and total uncertainty.
So, years go by, and on a rainy afternoon, the former rich boy walks into a modern office building, just desperately hoping to find a simple job. He enters the hiring manager's office, looks behind the desk, and literally freezes. Because sitting right there is the poor boy from his childhood, who is now a highly respected, deeply intelligent, and incredibly successful businessman. Talk about a role reversal.
The former rich boy just lowered his head. I mean, he was bracing himself for total humiliation, but instead, the successful businessman stood up, smiled warmly, embraced him like an old friend, and spoke these truly profound words. Life doesn't test us to destroy us. It tests us to teach us. We all deserve a second chance.
That single moment of grace completely changed everything. The former rich boy accepted the job opportunity with deep, genuine gratitude. He started showing up early every single morning, working harder than he ever had in his entire life, and learning the ropes with this entirely newfound humility. Step by step, he didn't just rebuild his lost career, he rebuilt something way more important: his foundational character. He finally learned firsthand that success earned through hard work totally outshines success that's just handed to you.
Fast forward a few more years, and both men find themselves standing side by side at a charity event, donating money to educate children from poor families. Now, this is what the true pursuit of wealth should actually look like. It's all about freedom. The freedom to help your family, the freedom to educate your children, the freedom to support those in need, and the freedom to live without fear.
Which brings us right back to our core principle for this explainer. Yes, the world often bows to wealth. Money absolutely can buy luxury, and it can definitely open doors. But honesty is what keeps those doors open. Money can attract a crowd, but loyalty is what keeps people close. Money cannot buy peace. It cannot buy trust. It cannot buy real love. And it absolutely cannot buy another day of life.
So the ultimate takeaway from this incredible story is this: go out there and build your future. Become successful. But above all else, stay kind. Earn millions if you can, but never, ever lose your humanity. Because at the very end of your life, people are not going to remember the size of your bank account or how fast your car was. They are going to remember the kindness you showed them when they needed it the most. Always respect every person you meet, because you just never know what battle they're fighting or what greatness they might achieve tomorrow. If people only respect you for your wealth, I promise you that respect is temporary. But if they respect you for your character, that lasts forever. Remember, money may change your lifestyle, but only character can change your legacy. So I'll leave you with this. When the money is gone and the applause fades, what will your legacy be? Thanks for joining me on this explainer.